What if I told you Cardano is quietly testing an upgrade that could completely change how fast its blockchain operates? No, this isn't another layer 2. It's a side chain either. It's called Musashi Dojo, the public testing ground for Ouroboros Leios, a next generation protocol upgrade that could significantly boost Cardano's transaction capacity while preserving the security and decentralization the network is known for. But why is it named after a legendary Japanese samurai? And why are developers and stake pool operators around the world paying so much attention to this testnet? In the next few minutes, I'll explain you what Musashi Dojo is, how Leios actually works, and why this could be one of the most important milestones in Cardano's roadmap. Let's dive in. So what exactly is Musashi Dojo? Think of it as the official testing ground for Ouroboros Leios, Cardano's biggest throughput upgrade yet. Before launching on the mainnet, every major features need to be tested in a real-world environment. And that's exactly what Musashi Dojo is built for. But here's what really caught my attention. This isn't just another testnet with a few developers working behind the scenes. Cardano has created a live development dashboard where anyone can track the project's progress in real time. Just take a look at these numbers. More than 21,000 lines of code merged in the past 3 months. Over 5,500 commits made during the past year. 58 development tickets already completed. And the current development milestone is 44% complete. And 102 updates pushed in just the last week. 5,855 total development updates. This level of transparency shows that Leios isn't just an idea. It's an upgrade that's actively being built, tested, and improved every single day by developers around the world. And here's another impressive metric, the contribution heat map. Each square represents a day of development activity, and together they show just how consistently the team has been working over the last 12 months. There have been 5,526 contributions, highlighting continuous progress toward making Ouroboros Leios stable, secure, and ready for the Cardano mainnet. Now, let's talk about the Leios testnet. This is where Ouroboros Leios is put to the test before launching on the Cardano's mainnet. Developers and stake pool operators can run nodes, test their tools, identify issues, and help improve the network. The testnet is called Musashi Dojo, inspired by the legendary Japanese swordsman Miyamoto Musashi, honing both his philosophy and Cardano's strong connection with the Japanese community. If you'd like to participate or simply learn more about testnet, I've left the official Join Dojo link in the description below. Feel free to check it out after watching the video. Now, let's take a quick look at the Leios roadmap. The roadmap spans from Q3 2025 to Q1 2027, outlining the journey from research to the final mainnet hard fork. So far, the improvement proposal is 89% complete. The technical specification is at 81%. The 1000 TPS showcase has reached 70%, and the Leios testnet is already 60% complete. The release candidate phase has also begun at 11%, while the final stages, high confidence, and the hard fork will come after the testnet is fully validated. Overall, the roadmap shows that Leios is making solid progress and moving step by step toward the Cardano mainnet. At this point, you might be wondering, where is all this testing actually happening? Well, that's where Musashi Dojo comes in. So after years of research, development, and testing, Cardano has now reached another major milestone. Musashi Dojo is officially open for public testing. So what exactly is Musashi Dojo? It is the official public testnet for Ouroboros Leios, where Cardano's biggest throughput upgrade is tested before reaching the mainnet. Running from late June 2026 until the mainnet hard fork, Musashi Dojo allows developers and stake pool operators SPOs to run Leios-enabled nodes, test new releases, validate the protocol, and analyze its performance. In short, this is where Cardano ensures Leios is stable, secure, and ready for the real network. So why the name Musashi Dojo? Cardano has deep roots in Japan. This testnet is a tribute to that strong connection, celebrating 10 years of Cardano's relationship with Japan. The name Musashi comes from the legendary Japanese swordman Miyamoto Musashi and his philosophy, two heaven as one. His belief was that two complementary tools working together are stronger than either one alone. Ouroboros Leios follows the same idea. It doesn't replace Cardano's existing cross blocks. Instead, it introduces a new endorser block that works alongside it. The cross block continues securing the network while the endorser block helps handle higher transaction demand. The result is higher throughput without compromising Cardano's security or decentralization. Before we get into how Leios actually works, let's see how Cardano plans to bring it to the mainnet. This isn't an upgrade that happens overnight. Instead, it's being rolled out step by step through the Musashi Dojo Testnet. The goal is simple: thoroughly test every part of Leios before it's deployed on the live network. If everything goes according to plan, Cardano expects Leios to deliver an initial 5x to 20x increase in throughput capacity once it reaches the mainnet. One thing I really like about Musashi Dojo is that Cardano isn't rushing this upgrade. Instead, the entire testnet is divided into 5 phases, each inspired by Miyamoto Musashi, the Book of 5 Rings. It begins with Earth in June and July 2026, where the focus is on making sure the protocol works correctly. Next comes Water is August 2026, where the team fine-tunes parameters and improve flexibility. Then comes Fire in September 2026, push Leios through large-scale load and stress test. After that, in Wind in October 2026, where the network faces adversarial testing to identify potential weaknesses. Finally, Void arrives in November 2026, the last stage before mainnet, where everything is validated to ensure Leios is truly ready for production. It's also worth noting that these phases can overlap, meaning development and testing continue in parallel to keep progress moving efficiently. So far, we have covered what Leios is and why it's important and how it's being tested through Musashi Dojo. But the biggest question is, how does Ouroboros Leios actually work? Let's break it down in a simple way. Before we dive into how Leios actually works, let's first look at how this upgrade evolved from research into a real implementation. As you can see in this chart, there are 3 versions being compared: the current Ouroboros Press, the proposed Leios, and the original research paper Leios. The research version delivers the highest throughput, but it also comes with higher latency, a bigger ecosystem impact, and a much longer deployment timeline. That's why Cardano chose a more practical approach with the proposed Leios. It still targets a 30x to 50x increase in throughput, while keeping transaction formats familiar, minimizing ecosystem changes, and making deployment much more realistic. In short, Leios isn't just about making Cardano faster, it's about scaling the network without sacrificing security, decentralization, or compatibility. So how does Leios actually achieve this? This idea is surprisingly simple. Today, Cross processes transaction through a single chain of regular blocks, which means many transactions have to wait for the next available block. Leios changed that by introducing a second type of block called the endorser block, or EB, as shown in the diagram. The regular cross blocks marked as RB, continue securing the blockchain just as they always have meanwhile. The new endorser blocks collect additional transactions in parallel, allowing the network to process much more data at the same time. Before those transactions become permanent, they are verified by a committee to ensure everything is valid and secure. Once improved, they are included in the blockchain. So instead of replacing PROS, Leos works alongside it, processing more transactions in parallel while preserving Cardano's existing security model. That's the key innovation behind Ouroboros Leios and the reason it has the potential to dramatically increase Cardano's throughput without compromising decentralization. So why does all of this matter? If Leios delivers on its goals, it could unlock an entirely new generation of application on Cardano. Imagine instant microtransaction for content creators and gaming, real-time supply chain tracking, faster and more reliable DeFi, digital identity systems for millions of users, and even large-scale on-chain voting with predictable fees. The goal is to increase Cardano's throughput from today's 5 to 10 TPS to around 100 TPS initially, with a long-term vision of 1000 TPS or more. That's what makes Leios so exciting. It's not just about making the blockchain faster, it's about enabling real-world application while preserving Cardano's security, decentralization, and predictable transaction fees. Of course, Leios is still in research and public testing, and its final deployment will depend on successful testing and community governance. But if everything goes according to plan, this could become one of the most significant upgrades in Cardano's history. So what's next for Leios? The roadmap shows that this isn't just a simple software update, it's a long-term project that takes Leios from research all the way to a full Cardano Mint upgrade. The journey starts with designing and publishing the Cardano Improvement Proposal, CIP, followed by detailed technical specification and real-world performance testing, including the goal of demonstrating 1000 TPS. After that comes the public Leios testnet, where developers and stake pool operators can validate the protocol, test infrastructure, and measure performance at scale. Once testing is complete, the focus shifts to building confidence through security audits, stress testing, and a production-ready release candidate. Finally, if everything meets Cardano's standard and receives community governance approval, Leios will be activated through a mainnet hard fork. In short, every stage of this roadmap is designed to ensure Leios is fast, secure, decentralized, and fully ready before going live. So, if you'd like to dive deeper into Ouroboros Leios, Cardano has published a complete collection of official resources. You'll find the CIP 164 proposal, technical documentation, research paper implementation, guides, presentation, comparison reports, use cases, and monthly development updates all in one place. If you are a developer, stake pool operator, or simply want to understand Leios in more detail, I have linked the official resources page in the description below. It's definitely worth checking out. One thing I really like is that the Leios team hosts a public review meeting on the last Wednesday of every month. In these sessions, they share the latest development progress, showcase new features, and answer questions from developers, stake pool operators, and the Cardano community. It's a great way to stay updated as Leios continues to evolve. The website also includes a detailed FAQ explaining what Ouroboros Leios is, along with a comprehensive glossary covering all the technical terms you'll come across, from PROS and endorser blocks to VRFS, ranking blocks, and much more. So if you want to understand Leios in even greater detail, I highly recommend checking out the official documentation. I have linked everything in the description below. Before Leios becomes part of the Cardano Mint, it goes through extensive research and development. The project officially began in 2024 with input-outputs research team studying everything from network scalability and stake pool economics to ledger growth and overall protocol performance. To make sure Leios is secure and reliable, the team uses formal verification, Haskell and Rust simulation, cross-simulation testing, and Delta Q network analysis to validate the protocol under real-world conditions. In short, every upgrade is backed by rigorous research testing and engineering before it's considered ready for the Cardano network. The Leios website also includes an interactive. This tool lets you explore how higher transaction volumes could impact Cardano's network transaction fees, ledger growth, treasury, and stake pool rewards, all without affecting the live blockchain. You can adjust different parameters, compare scenario, and better understanding how Cardano could scale as adoption grows. There's also a Leios cost estimator built specifically for stake pool operators. It estimates the monthly cost of running a Leios nodes by analyzing resources like CPU storage, bandwidth, and network usage. This helps operators plan their infrastructure, compare code providers, and understand whether running a Leios nodes will remain cost-effective as the network scales. The Leios website also includes several interactive tools that help you understand the protocol much better. First, the cost estimator. Let's take pool operators estimator how much it would cost to run a Leios node by calculating CPU storage, bandwidth, and overall monthly operating expenses. Second, the Leios visualizer gives you a live visual representation of how transactions and different block types move through the network, making the protocol much easier to understand. Third, the meme pool visualizer simulates how transactions spread across the network, showing how nodes communicate, produce blocks, and even how different network conditions or attack scenario can affect transaction propagation. And finally, there's the throughput simulator where you can experiment with different network parameters to see how higher throughput impacts Cardano's fees, treasury, ledger growth, and overall network economics, all without affecting the live blockchain. So if you're interested in the technical side of Leios, I have linked all 4 tools in the description below, so you can try them yourself. And before we wrap up, if you're interested in the following development of Ouroboros Leios, I would definitely recommend joining the community. You can explore the official GitHub repository to track the latest course updates and development progress. If you'd like to chat with developers and stake pool operators and other Cardano community members, join the official Discord server, and for the latest announcements, roadmaps, updates, and monthly review meetings, be sure to follow IO Group on Twitter. I've left all the official links in the description below, so feel free to check them out after watching this video. And there's complete overview of Ouroboros Leios and the Musashi Dojo Testnet. This is one of the most ambitious upgrades Cardano has ever worked on. And if everything goes according to plan, it could significantly improve the network scalability while preserving its security and decentralization. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Leios can take Cardano to the next level and compete with the biggest blockchains in the industry? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss the latest crypto updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.